Is there any benefit to alkaline, air quotes around that, alkaline water, or, a higher pH in the water? Does it do anything for us? Is it beneficial?
Well, again, when we follow nature, the so-called therapeutic waters, the so-called classic European waters especially, this means San Pellegrino, Gerolsteiner, Apollinaris, and similar. Badeau, that's a French spring water. In common, they all have minerals dissolved when that spring water was under the ground, under pressure. Now, you can also make alkaline water with a machine. You can dial the pH that you want if you have the more advanced machine. In the laboratory, that's helpful. That is not physiologic and it is not recommended. And I want to be clear that when you have the hard, high mineral natural waters, that's a benefit. And those will all be above neutral. That is, they'll all be above 7 on the pH scale. And yes, much of what comes out of the tap, much of what is bottled water, is just on the acidic side, which means it's mineral depleted, probably because of the way in which it was filtered, but mineral depleted. And not only mineral depleted, a little bit of acid has gotten in, and extra acid you don't need. You need acid in your stomach, you need acid in some recycling centers inside of specialized cells. But in general, you want to take in an alkaline diet, including drinking and cooking with naturally alkaline high mineral waters. Now, for many people, that means having someone deliver a 5-gallon glass, what's called carboy, a big 5-gallon thing, that is easy to tip and you pour out the amount you want to either drink or cook with. And I suggest that you get such water, alkaline water, such healthy water, from the source that says from a deep spring, and they'll give you a choice of plastic or glass. I suggest glass is a little better than plastic, even the hard carbonate plastics that today have come into vogue. So alkaline waters, hard waters, yes. Chemically produced alkaline waters, no. Physiology before pharmacology. Let's follow nature to nurture us with wholeness, and that includes the traditional mineral waters that in the 19th century were considered to be therapeutic. People would go to the places where these springs existed. Very often there were lovely accommodations and the air and environment was very clean. And people would do hydrotherapy, water therapy. In fact, there was a very famous man named Father Neep, some other time we may want to talk about him, who thought that hydrotherapy and thalassotherapy, that's a fancy way of saying water therapy, had great promise. And in some circumstances, I think today that we can use such natural things as shifting from tap water to a healthy, natural, alkaline, hard, mineral-rich water, and really benefit from that. So these are habits of daily living that we can now distinguish what is worth the effort. It is worth the effort to have a natural, hard, mineral-rich water as your beverage of choice. You can add berries or lemon or lime to that, preferably fresh. There are lots of other ways of enhancing your hydration, which is a very important piece, but hydration with healthy, alkaline, mineral-rich waters. So thanks for the question. And thanks for teaching children about basic chemistry. Too many adults today, when we suggest that they check, say, the pH of their urine after rest, even with the instructions, they need a little encouragement because they didn't make friends with pH testing when they were younger. So part of the question was in regard to kitchen chemistry or classroom chemistry. And oh, by the way, if you have baking soda, you can take a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda, take a glass of water, measure the pH, put the baking soda in, and I promise you it will become more alkaline. It'll go towards the blue or purple side. And that color contrast is something that the child can not only understand, it's visceral, it's experiential, but it also makes friends with biological chemistry. So thanks for asking.